This is a hire that makes a lot of sense. It's a safe hire. Here's what we know definitively. Dan Quinn's not a bad coach. He can come here and coach this team. Now, it's not exactly a home run hire anyway. I think a lot of folks in Washington really wanted Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator. They didn't get him. He said no for whatever reason. So they made the move to get Dan Quinn. This is a guy with a ton of experience, a really, really great reputation around the league, former players, other coaches, executives. Dan Quinn is beloved. And if you take a look at the numbers, recent, you showed some of what he did in Seattle, but this Dallas defense where he's been the last 3 seasons has been excellent. They generate a ton of turnovers, something that has been a problem for the Commanders for a few seasons now. Look at this. They're holding teams under 300 yards per game. Washington last year gave up almost 400 per game. And points are what matter, right?
Yeah.
They're holding teams under 19 points a game, Dallas was, whereas Washington was giving up over 30 a game. This number, however, not so great. This one kind of haunts Dan Quinn.
Yep.
He was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons when they had a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
New England came all the way back to win that game. That is tough, but let's go down to Dallas, where Dan Quinn has been. My friend Newey Scruggs does a great job covering the Cowboys. We asked Newey to tell us about Quinn.
One of the things I think about for Dan Quinn is how he took Trayvon Diggs. Next thing you know, his first year working with him, he leads the NFL in picks. Trayvon got hurt this year, and here's Deron Bland, a second-year player who led the Cowboys his rookie year in interceptions, leads the league, and becomes an all-pro. And we all know exactly what he did with Micah Parsons and moving him around and making him a true weapon. I think that Dan Quinn is going to be a leader that not only the players are rallying around, I believe the Washington fan base, once they get the opportunity to see Dan work day in and day out, his enthusiasm, the way he goes about his business, they'll realize he is a good football coach. And I don't care if anybody wants to poke fun and talk about how his Atlanta team lost a 28-3 lead and the Super Bowl in New England. Fact is, he got Atlanta there. And I still think Dan Quinn has the ability to go out and win another Super Bowl in his career. I'm Newey Scruggs.
What Newey's saying there, I've heard echoed by sources all over the league. Dan Quinn really is widely regarded. 2 things need to happen, though. He's got to stop wearing that hat backwards. It looks kind of silly. And 2, he's got to fill out an offensive staff. And I think that's what's most important. We got to find out what's going to happen with Eric Bieniemy. If you think about Dan Quinn, he's got a ton of ties to Kyle Shanahan. That 49ers offense is so explosive. They've developed a young quarterback in Brock Purdy. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to tap into that well. Remember, that's also where Adam Peters just came from. So this is the first in a number of steps here.
Okay, I mean, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it also helps to have somebody who actually has had the job for a while.
Sure.
He's going to be coming into an organization where almost everybody else is brand
new general manager. There's probably going to be another rookie quarterback. It's new ownership. And if you look at what Josh Harris has done with the Philadelphia 76ers, his basketball team, they have exclusively, I believe, under him, hired coaches with other experience.
Okay, so this is clearly very, very building from ground
it's
up here.
It's a safe move. It's not necessarily an exciting move.
Okay.
But for a team and an organization that has won every offseason, in how many seasons?
Sure.
Go out and make the big splashes, and it never pans out. This time around, having something that kind of falls like not a thud or not a dud, may be exactly what we need.
Totally, and keep in mind, I think perhaps what's most important, Dan Quinn's not in charge of personnel. That Ron was trying to juggle way too many things, wasn't that good at any one of them. Dan Quinn's only here to be the coach, and they've got what's supposed to be the best candidate running the personnel side.